Okay, so here's our first example, one that kind of looks like an equation. It's the same thing. It's everything in here is either going to be, everything in here is 9 away from 0. So everything in here is either 9 or -9. Those are the two values that are 9 away from 0. So we're going to start over here. We're going to say x plus 4 is equal to -9 because that's 9 away from 0. And over here we're going to say x plus 4 is equal to 9. And then we just work both sides. So we're going to take 4 away from both sides. You know that 4 minus 4 is 0. Well, -4 minus 4, that's the same thing as 4 to the left of -9 on the number line, which is going to be -13. So there's that part of it. Over here, we're going to take 4 away from both sides again. 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay. And on the right, 9 minus 4 is 5. So there's your answer. When x can either be -13 or x can be +5. All right, let's look at another example. Here we have the absolute value of x minus 7 is equal to 6, which means that everything in here is either, everything in here is 6 away from 0, so everything in here is either -6, or everything in here is 6. So on the left side, I've got to add 7 to both sides. Of course, -7 plus 7 is 0. -6 plus 7, that's 6 negatives and 1 positive, so you're going to end up with a net 1 positive, or if you prefer, -6, 7 to the right of -6 is going to be +1. Over here, same thing. We're going to add 7 to both sides. So we end up with 6 plus 7 is 13. So there's your two possible answers on that one. Okay. Let's look at another example. Same thing, x plus 5. What's 9 away from 0? Well, -9 is 9 away from 0. And the other thing that's 9 away from 0 is +9. Okay, so I'm going to take 5 away from both sides. Well, 5 to the left of -9 on a number line is -14. And you take 5 away from 9, and that's just simply 4. So there's the two solutions to that one. And of course, you can check these. If you took 4 plus 5, that's 9. 9 is 9 away from 0. If you took -14 plus 5, that's -9. Well, -9 is also 9 away from 0. That's the way you can check. Let's get another example. 3 minus 7. Now the x is over here. Now the x is over here. The x is no longer inside the absolute value bars. So what we have here is we just need to simplify whatever's in here. Well, what is 3 minus 7? Well, 3 minus 7 is -4. And now the question isn't what numbers are -4 away from 0. Now the question is, how far from 0 is -4? Well, -4 is 4 away from 0. And since they typically want us to put the x on the left, you just flip the whole thing around and you end up with x is equal to 4. All right, next example. X minus 2 is 0. Now we got the x back inside again. X is back inside again. So, but instead of having -0 and 0, well, there's only one thing that's 0 away from 0, and that's 0. So we don't have two parts to it. So we got x minus 2 is equal to 0. Add 2 to both sides. X is just equal to 2. That's the only thing that'll work in there. 2 minus 2 is 0. The absolute value is 0. How far from 0 is 0? It's 0. All right. Let's look at our last example. Okay, now this one, you got to think of this whole thing as kind of like a big variable. I've got to get the absolute value by itself, which means this 3 has to go away. What's going on between the 3 and the absolute value? This is multiplication right here. You can't see because this is a grouping symbol, just like a parentheses. So I have to divide the 3 out of there. And if I divide the 3 out of one side, I have to divide the 3 out of the other side. These 3's cancel, and I end up with x plus 2, or the absolute value of x plus 2. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. So now I'm back to one of those problems I've seen before. So I've got the only two things that are 4 away from 0 are -4 and 4. So I've got x plus 2 is equal to -4. And then over here, I've got x plus 2 is equal to 4. Simplify that down, take 2 away from both sides. Well, Negative 4 minus 2, that's 2 to the left of negative 4 on a number line. That would be negative 6. So that's one side, or one possibility, I mean. And then over here, I take 2 away from 4. Well, I think 4 minus 2 is 2, so x is equal to 2. Those are the two possibilities that make that work. Okay, negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. The absolute value of negative 4 is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Look at the other one, too. 2 plus 2 is 4. Absolute value of 4 is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. It works. So both of them work. If you have any questions, as always, just let me know. And good luck. Thank you very much.